What's up, guys? This video is just going to be me installing an oil catch can on my E39 540. I decided to do this because of the oil separator valve that is located behind my timing chains got damaged whenever a shop started to work on my timing guides, and they claimed it was not their fault. So I tried to find solutions online to where I could find the cheapest way to fix this, and an oil catch can setup was the very cost-efficient way for me to fix this. And just watch the video to see if it works out. I was asked to document it by a couple of people on the E39 forums. It's not super detailed, but you get the idea of what all I had to go through. But other than that, enjoy the video, leave a like on it if you liked it and you found it helpful, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Alright guys, we're partway through this. I'm not recording this step of pulling the wiring harness off and everything because there's several walkthroughs on YouTube on how to get that off. Right now I'm to the point to where I unhooked all the hoses. What I have left to unhook is the high pressure fuel line right here. We're going to press this all the way in. We're going to wrap it with a rag, which I have right here because it's going to spray gas. And then I can start taking the 11mm bolts off the intake manifold and pull it off. I do have oil that is pulling the intake manifold right there, so there is oil getting into my intake manifold. I did have to take a screwdriver and push, so we can get down in here. Right here I had to push this pipe off. It's actually all the way off, but there was a pipe that came up to here and we pressed that off because that's the vent pipe that we're going to be replacing doing this oil catch can install. But we're making good headway, a lot faster than I thought I would. You just got to be real careful, otherwise you'll break some stuff. I did break one of my clips right here on this. I broke that off, but luckily I can just hand plug this back in and we'll still be good. Outside of that, it's just being real mindful and plugging stuff back in where it goes. But we're going to undo this high pressure fuel line, try not to make too much of a mess, and then start pulling this thing off. Wish me luck. The teardown is underway. I got all the wiring harness disconnected from it, all the vacuum lines off of it. All I got to do is pull the high pressure fuel line and then pull the intake manifold off, and then the real fun starts. Alright guys, just got the intake manifold off and it is filled with oil. As soon as I set it down, it's just pouring out. Like really fucking bad. You can see it was backing up all through here. It's even, like you can see in my intake ports. Like look at that, dude. Like that's terrible. Just soaked in oil. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna try to clean it up best I can. But what we're gonna wind up doing for this catch can is we're gonna pull this off. Like this is going to come out of the block entirely. And then we're gonna run a hose. We're gonna take the fitting off here. We're gonna run a hose like back behind the block to a catch can. Then I'm going to put like right here, and then we're going to run a hose from the catch can to a fitting that I'm going to adapt here. But we have to clean this up, and then I have to plug it. So we're actually going to wind up pulling the CCV housing off and cleaning out the intake and everything. But man, I was not expecting that much oil to be in there. Everything apart. And is my flash on? My flash is not on. But I don't know if you guys can see how oily that is. Like that's pretty gnarly. And that's actually oil pulled up down there by the throttle body. And yeah, that's it's pretty crazy. Was not expecting that, but it is what it is. All right. So we have the PCV pressure control valve off. You can see this thing's caked in fucking oil too. But what we're gonna do to run this catch can, we're gonna plug this hole. We're gonna plug this with a 3/4 inch rubber plug, and we're gonna push it down as far as we can, and then I'm gonna go over the top of it with some epoxy, but I'm gonna kind of rough up this edge here, and then we're gonna hit it with some epoxy. But before we do that, we're going to take a Dremel and open this hole up, because this is just a cap. So you could hit it with a hammer and a flathead and break it out, but I'm gonna use just a Dremel, and I'm gonna open the hole, and we'll go from there. Update you guys when it's done. All right, so I ground all this down pretty fucking good, but it doesn't look like it's even gonna go in here, because this diameter is not even the same to go inside, and I can't trim around there. There's not enough room to do that, sadly. So one thing I might be able to do is grind this down, maybe, because this will start to go, but I can grind that down, and then we can just see about putting that on there. So we'll try that now and see what happens. All right, so this is the modification I did. So I have a rubber stopper right there, and it is in there tight as fuck. Like, holy shit, that is in there super tight. And then I ground down the threads on this, and then I ground down some of the barbs here. And I have this in there as tight as I can get it, to the point to where I'm almost cracking this. And now I'm actually gonna go around the edges here. I'm gonna go around these edges with some epoxy to hold it in there. It was recommended to use like a JB weld stick, but it also wound up cracking after a couple of heat cycles. So I was then recommended to do the epoxy. So we're gonna try that. And if this doesn't work, I found out that I can use the BMW X5 generation. I think it's like an E63. I could be wrong, but like a 2002 X5 4.4 PCV system. It already looks like this, so it doesn't have, you don't have to modify it. It's already like this, because this is where they kind of move the oil separator valve system outside of the engine, and it actually mounts to the valve cover. So if this doesn't work, I'm just gonna order one of those. And just, like, all in all, into this, what I have in this right now is $10. You know, so whereas ordering an X5 one, it's gonna cost me like 90. But this right now, like $10 if I'm on the high side. So can't hurt to see, you know what I mean? So stay tuned. All right, guys, as promised, this is another part of this video. I got my new CCV. This is from a 4.4 liter V8 out of a BMW X5 2002, and this already has this modification right here that I was trying to do on my existing one off my 99 BMW 540 that also has 4.4 liter V8. This adapts to the current M62 TU intake manifold, so there's no modification required. You just put it on and you're good to go. So we're gonna throw this on my intake manifold, and we're gonna run this line to my catch can, and hopefully we will be good to go. All right, guys, so we got the new one on. As you can see, it points upwards. We're gonna connect the hose to that. This is the original. I'll hold these up side by side. You'll see what the changes were made between the two. Internally, they're both exactly the same. It's just this one is a revision to fix the OSV issue inside the engines was a 4.4 M62 TU. This is from an N62. So this should work. I'll let you know, I'll keep you updated. Alright, sorry if it's super windy, because it is super windy outside, as you can see by those windmills. But man, N62 CCV is now mated to the M62 TU manifold. I have both of my lines ran. This is going underneath the intake manifold, which I showed before, into where it goes into the block. This is going to go from the catch can to the CCV. I did come across some things that I do need to fix also. This, assuming this I hit myself in the head, this hose is cracked. So I'm going to temporarily try some Tessa tape with some electrician's tape around that, just to try to hold vacuum, because I did notice that my brakes were not acting as well as they should. After I got the car back from the shop, it looks like they stress fractured that, but that's old, so it's going to happen. So we're just going to connect all these lines back. I'm going to try to remember where everything plugged in, and I got to get the right length I want for these hoses. Ideally, I kind of want them right here, and then I got to figure out a better routing for this one, because it's going to have to go either underneath all of these vacuum lines or something, because we'll probably run it down here as well underneath everything, and then I'm going to have it come around very similarly just right here. So I kind of want to cut both of these like right here, because the catch can is going to go like right here in this area. So we'll get all that cut and mated up, and then I'll give you an update video as soon as I can. All right, everything is wired back up. Probably not in the prettiest of fashion, but it's there. So I'm going to cut these lines now, prep the catch can, that way I can get it temporarily mounted right here, so I can cut the hoses, get the fittings in there, and then we will see if this works. It's still going to smoke on start because there is oil still in the valves. Earlier in the video you can see where I try to show you that there's actually oil down in the combustion chamber where it leaked through the intake manifold itself. So it's still going to smoke on startup. That's just, eventually it should go away. I don't know how long it'll take or anything like that. I'm probably going to have to pull the spark plugs a few more times and clean them, just due to the excess amounts of oil that's been in there burning. I've already cleaned that side twice. I've cleaned this side once, so I'll probably have to do this a couple more times, just to make sure after all the oil is out of there. But for right now, it looks like we're on the right track. All right, so we have a case of if it's not one thing, it's the other. And right now, it's the fact that the biggest fittings I have for this catch can are 5/8. So they literally just go in and out of this piece, like boop boop, boop boop. So I gotta see if I can find some type of adapter fitting, like a step down from 3/4 to 5/8 to put on here, or just find an actual 3/4 fitting like this, which I might be able to do. I just really don't know. But as of right now, kind of dead in the water. And I'm just turning the car on so I can let y'all hear how rough it is. Well, that's significantly better. That's not near as, it was super rough earlier. But we're still smoking. We're gonna smoke for a little bit. We still got oil and everything in the engine itself. After the first start, I checked the catch can and there was no oil inside of it. that should go away here in a minute. I have a weird whistle that I'm hearing, like a vacuum leak. Like when I move my ear to like this side, I can hear it. No, we're not getting any smoke. Smoke's gone. Smoke is entirely gone. Well, let's give it a little blip. I have a check engine light, go figure. Some smoke on acceleration. That's gonna happen because I got oil still in the fucking valves. But nothing crazy. Have to let it run for a little while. But so far, might be a winner. The fact that it's not just pluming white smoke everywhere seems to be okay. I'm gonna have to burn all the oil off that was sitting in the fucking combustion chamber anyways to get all this to fully go away. But as it is right now, I mean, can't really complain. That's not near as bad as it was. Not even close. The only way I'll know for sure is I'll have to take it around and test drive it for a little bit when my wife gets off work today. But I'm interested to see how it goes.